Hi guys, it's StephanieGrams, Sewpreneur. I am here helping you with the business side of sewing. So if you are a sewing enthusiast trying to go from hobbyist to Sewpreneur, hang out with me, get on the free newsletter at sewpreneur.com. And I am trying the software that came on my laptop to record this video. So wish me luck. I usually just go live on YouTube, but the last couple times, well, since Friday, August 5th, when I have recorded this will be the third time. The internet has just been terrible. So here we are, August 7th, 2022, and I wanted this to go out on Friday for the hashtag Friday Sews events that we do every week in the sewing community, and it just did not work out. But if this works out, then that's what we're going to do moving forward. We will see. So today we are talking about sewing projects and sewing business ideas for those with dementia and Alzheimer's. And what I mean by that is if you are a sewist, which is a sewing artist, and you want to use your sewing skills to bless others that are dealing with or on the journey of dementia and Alzheimer's, then definitely hang out with me and we can go into some details. All right, so a little bit behind the scenes story on this. I, the grandmother, my paternal grandmother that taught me how to sew when I was 7, she ended up with dementia and then into Alzheimer's, which was eventually what took her from us. And so the whole grieving process for myself and my family started when my grandmother started displaying dementia. And from there, you start to mourn the person that you are basically losing in front of you. And all of this took place when I was like 14 or 15 years old, and I'm 40 something now. So we're talking at least 30 years ago, before the internet and before all the education that we have. And with the internet and the education available to us today, that leads us to here, this video. And a lot of the ideas I'm sharing with you, you may have already heard of or you might be familiar with, but maybe I can share some ideas that you didn't know about. And maybe this is a way you want to use your sewing skills to bless others, whether as a hobbyist or a business owner or both. A lot of us in the sewing community sew obviously for business because we have a family to take care of and bills to pay, but we also do donate some of our time. And, over the years, I've donated my sewing talents to create memory bears for those that have been hurting that otherwise could not afford a memory bear. And there are ways that you can bless others, whether it's hemming pants or sewing on a button or mending a worn patch on their trousers or pants or whatever, to creating quilts and other products. So hang out with us here in the sewing community. If you're a quilter, crocheting, knitter, it doesn't matter. All of you are welcome. Sewpreneur is all about being supportive with our sewing skills and crafting skills to help others. So hang out, get on the newsletter at sewpreneur.com, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, leave a nice comment, and join in the fun, okay? I just wanted to show you this planner is updated. It's 132 pages and it's less than $15, and it will be listed underneath this video. Every single thing that you purchase from me helps me continue to give you free information. Remember, I talk about the sewing side of business, or the business side of sewing, getting tongue-tied here. The business side of sewing. So, putting your sewing business together as a business. There you go. I'm done with the rambling. All right, so if you have some paper or you might have printed off the original planner that I have, this is still a PDF in my Etsy shop, which is down below. You can even just write these things down, give yourself some ideas. If you're on the newsletter, you will get a link to my Pinterest board where there will be pictures, instructions, ideas, examples for you to look at. But you have to be on the newsletter for August 2022 in order to see that link. Okay, let's move on. So, when I was an activity director for an assisted living slash Alzheimer organization, there were a lot of individuals on my side of the building in the assisted living that were going to be moved from the assisted living into the dementia and Alzheimer's unit. And before that transaction took place, many of the assisted living individuals were looking or in need of some type of activity, and they were not really interested in the activities of the other assisted living individuals. They needed some special care and attention, and yet they were not transitioned into the dementia care unit quite yet because they didn't need that much of assistance or attention, so to speak. So they were kind of in a middle area, and so that was one of my many jobs as a director there for the activities, was to find the activities that were going to be useful to all of the residents. And it was very difficult. And I wished I would have known then as much as I know now. And that was just in like 2019. So a lot has changed, believe it or not, in just the last 2.5, 3 years when it comes to dementia and Alzheimer's. And I think moving forward with the medical and things like that are here, the education and resources, you're going to see this particular interest group grow. And one of the things that I think is very important is to keep in mind that, yes, if you have the sewing skills, you also need to have the understanding and the heart behind this type of business. Meaning, you can't just be all about the profit without really thinking about who you're catering to. And I'm not here to judge or lecture you. You know what it is that you know, and you know what you do well. And I think that if you're just watching this video, you already have the heart to want to reach out to this demographic. There are some things that you can do. There are projects that you can sew. You can either donate or sell, and you can do both. You don't have to do one or the other. You know, you can sell them, you can donate some, get the business name out there. But here are the ideas. They come in a variety of options. They are including weighted lap blankets, weighted and when I say weighted, you know, think of a lightweight, like 2 pounds, 1 pound, things like that. Weighted blankets and quilts bring comfort to a lot of individuals. You have the fidget blanket, a fidget apron, fidget pillows. They come in hearts, shapes, round, rectangle, square. Don't just limit to this type of pillow, right? This is obviously not a fidget pillow, but this is a standard couch pillow, right? They can be smaller than this to fit on the individual's lap, where they can even carry it around with them. All right, so there is a I Spy game where you can put items in fabric pouches with the clear window, and you can put certain type of like water and oil kind of things. All of this is in the Pinterest link also, with little floaties, charms and glitter, things like that, where they can push it around with their hands. The other items would be a marble maze, where you put one marble in a piece of fabric. It can be really any size or shape. And then you would sew certain lines that look like a puzzle. So the person can then squeeze the marble through that maze. It's a fantastic idea because a lot of the individuals, if not at least in the dementia Alzheimer's unit, for the most part, they needed to keep their hands busy. Even when they were sitting there watching TV, they would pick at their skin something terribly, was to the point where they needed medical attention on their hands and fingers. So having fidget quilts or a fidget blanket or an apron that they could wear that had little fidgety things that they could play with would have been ideal. I just want to let you know that one thing that I ran into was I carried that job full time while taking care of my family. And I did not have time to sew these items up myself. And now I did have an allotted amount to spend as the director every month. And when I went online to find these items, trust me, there was not many options, and the options that I found were pretty much mass produced and they were not high quality. I did not believe at that time that it was a good financial investment for my residents on buying something that was manufactured overseas and it was not a good quality. All the items looked the same. So if I ordered if I could find it, the fidget blanket they had 5 or 6 little fidgety things on it, and they were all the same items, the same colors, and that is not. I don't think that's conducive to the environment in which is needed for these individuals, because each individual is unique. They don't all like the color red or white or blue or green. They all don't want cooking utensils tied to their fidget apron. This is where, as a business owner, even the hobbyist, whoever's watching this is when you have an intake form and you find out who are you going to make this for. Get their first name. If with HIPAA, maybe you can't meet the person. Maybe you can only get the first name. Then you say, okay, this is for Sam or this is for Sally, right? And Sam enjoys fishing and his favorite colors are blue and green. That right there is enough information for you to create Sam a custom fidget apron or lap blanket, depending on what he likes, or a pillow. you know, get to know that person. A lot of times now, obviously, we've had the big C where they may not have visitation open like they used to. But if you can get a hold of the activity director at the assisted living or the dementia and Alzheimer's care units, sometimes it's the same person. Oftentimes it's one main director over both, but sometimes, it might be two different directors. So if you can't get somewhere with one person, talk to another. And at the very end of the day, if this is something that you really want to pursue, ask to meet the executive director one on one so you can present your idea and give them, here's the problem that you have, and this is how I can solve this problem for you. And we can go into depth on the business aspect of this if you're interested, but you need to let me know because I don't want to waste your time if you're not interested in the formality to speak. Side note and disclaimer, I'm not giving tax or legal advice at all because I'm not a professional. I can just tell you what I know so you can take it to the professionals to get it in writing and make it legal. Okay, all right, so let's go back. Um, so another thing to think about if you're not really into the weighted blankets or the fidget pillows or the fidget aprons or blankets or whatnot, there are things that are like a comfort cuff or it's like a sleeve, and on the sleeve you have different fidgety things that you have sewn on there, knitted or crocheted. There's several in the link, the Pinterest link for you to look at. There is also baby dolls. A cute story is, it's cute and it's kind of sad at the same time, but it did open my eyes to the need and make me more aware of what really happens day to day on the dementia and Alzheimer's floor. This particular not organization, but housing residential unit had a baby crib, a basic, literally a crib in the main hallway, and they had a couple different baby dolls in there. But, and they had like diapers and things, just, because some of the residents really enjoyed going and getting the baby doll and playing with the baby doll on a daily basis. But it got to the point where one particular resident decided that was her baby and that nobody else was going to touch that baby, and she would take it and hide it. She'd put it in an office. She'd stick it in somebody else's bedroom, and obviously couldn't remember where it was for however long it took for housekeeping to find it and put it back. But she knew this one particular baby doll, that it was her baby, and she would fight a resident that would want to touch it. Um, and I got to thinking about this over the last week or so, and really thinking that perhaps, now again, I don't know if she had any family still alive or not, but perhaps had she had literally her own baby, with her name on that baby doll, with maybe the colors that she really enjoyed certain colors, then that could have really been her baby. Now that's just an idea you can take with that wherever you want, but the cloth diapers with Velcro little tabs are ideal, and having those personalized with the resident's name. That way, when they get lost throughout the organization or the housing area, the housekeeping and other directors know who it belongs to, so they can return it to that resident's bedroom. That would have been very helpful. But these are just some ways that you can reach out to this demographic, and offer to sew things or knit or crochet. Um, Again, that's something I tried to do. I reached out through the newsletter and the bulletin board and the family members, and just thought, if you have any of these items, I made a nice list and gave them the ideas and printed off a picture and said, even sent it to a sewing guild. Crickets. Nobody was interested in volunteering their time to help make anything. So maybe where you come from, maybe where you live, you will find somebody that is able to help you with this, or you become the provider of this service. It is very much needed, and I think that the families would greatly appreciate being in contact with you, knowing that you have the heart and the skills to provide this much needed service. So that is it for today. Thank you for joining me. Again, I hope this video turns out great. It's a third try, and I'll keep trying until I can get it right. All right, guys, it's August 27th, 2022. It's StephanieGrams, Sewpreneur.com. Please sure to subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. If you don't mind, help me growing. That would be great if you shared my YouTube channel with your other sewing, quilting, and knitting and crocheting enthusiasts. Bye, guys.